Naspers is a multinational media giant with stakes in internet businesses in emerging markets, pay TV and print media. Naspers today reported consolidated revenue of 23 billion rand, a 22% increase for the 6 months ended the 30th of September 2012. The company has a market cap of 223 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 41.6 and a dividend yield of 0.6. I can see Tshepo now giggling out of the corner of my eye with that PE at 46.6. Let's put it to you, Paul.
Yeah, so look, now we've come down quite significantly in terms of scale, but we're talking about the same stuff because we know that mobile and mobile devices and social media on mobile devices is a big part of why this industry is exciting. Naspers, of course, has got its Tencent investment, plus it's got multi-choice DSTV platform here. So stock I'm very keen on. Look, I will give you that 10 rands a share for the half year is not exactly exciting when you're talking about a share price trading well over 500. But for me, it's one of those businesses where they're laying down the groundworks of a much larger empire. So
haven't they already laid down the groundworks and should be benefiting from those now?
Well, they continue to do new acquisitions. You know, in every single reporting period. In this one, they bought something called, you know, Flipkart in India and another business called, you know, sort of...
So purely acquisitive growth.
Well, they continue to do that, but I mean, Tencent generates huge profits. We know that Mail.ru, which is the Russian business, generates huge profits. They offloaded a stake in Facebook at their credit at, you know, northwards of $40, so well done for that. They continue just to really lay down the real estate, but then at the same time, they've got this magnificently profitable multi-choice business which dominates online TV in Africa.
I'm just aggravating you for the sake of aggravation.
What a business.
Tshepo, what a business. Do you agree?
Agreed. What a business. If you look at specifically their ability to tap into something like a Tencent, when people probably didn't even know what that was, that's rewarded them handsomely. You talk about huge
they're trading above 500 rand.
They are. Talking about huge profits, I think the price is even larger than that, which is my particular issue around the stock. So I think the general consensus is that the underlying economic theme is very bullish. My question is, given what people have priced in, aren't you setting yourself up for disappointment?
Are you setting yourself up for disappointment,
well,
Mr. Paul Theron?
It's very similar in a way to the way the market views Amazon, with its, you know, attractive CEO Jeff Bezos, with all these new things happening all the time. The market says, look, your earnings are not so hot, but we assume that you've got such a power in your marketplace that you can turn on different levels of profitability almost at will. And I think people view Koersbecker in much the same way. We know that China is interesting because they've banned everybody from coming in there. So there's no Facebook or no Google and certainly no Twitter in China because the Chinese Communist Party doesn't want to let people be free, you know. So they got their own stuff. But then you see they've got the biggest internet business in Russia and Turkey and Brazil, in India and all these other places. And suddenly you start thinking, well, at some point in the future, Google's going to come for guys like that. You know, so Naspers, positioned as it is as an investment holding company for these emerging market social media and e-commerce businesses, looks very attractive because that's where the world's going.
Tshepo, let's get a final comment on Naspers. You still are concerned about setting yourself up for failure or for disappointment down the line?
I think thematically I understand the story, I understand the growth drivers. I think their basket is quite exciting. The question is, are you willing to pay up for that excitement? If you look at this on a through the cycle PE, so the current PE is not just high, the through the cycle is close to 60. On a through the cycle return on equity of in the low 20s, so in our perspective, no.
So we come back to the big debate, growth versus value. Paul Theron on Naspers, hot or not?
Happy to give it the hot, definitely hot for me.
Nice short and brief on that one, hot or not?
This is probably as cold as it gets for me, so not hot for me at all.
Ooh, I love the tension in the studio.